How is everyone doing today? I hope you're doing great. I want to answer one of my podcasting clients' questions who asked me recently, Regina, you're always talking about show notes. What is that? If you are in the podcasting circle, or if you have been a listener of podcasts, you might have come across that term, show notes. So what are they, and are they important to have? That's what my client wanted to know. So show notes are really a written summary of your audio episode. The show notes, good show notes, usually would have a quick summary of what has been discussed, maybe some visuals to help entice people that are reading through that particular blog. That's what it is. It's like a blog post, and it would also have some highlights of the podcast in it with timestamps. Some people do that. So for example, at minute 3.02, they are discussing this and this and that, so that you can also give the people that are reading through it also some reference of maybe what could interest them within this show notes. And then, of course, it should have some call to action, some links, maybe a link to, subscribe to my newsletter. And, of course, the audio should be part of it as well. Yeah, there should be a link to the audio within these show notes. So that's what it is. It's kind of like an address, a blog post where you can do a write-up of your audio podcast. And you could also additionally link to some links that you have mentioned in the podcast as well. Why is it beneficial to have show notes? Well, because some people, when they are coming across your podcast, especially when you're posting something on social media, they might not be in that position to listen to the podcast in that moment. Or they might also not be sure if they really want to listen to the podcast. So the show notes are a great way for you to highlight some of the best bits about that conversation and entice the person that is reading these show notes to actually start listening to the full episode. So that's what show notes are all about. You don't have to have these show notes. This is not compulsory. You could also just add an audio with just a little description within your media host. You don't have to make this description very thorough, or if you don't have the capacity to write this summary, then there is no one forcing you to do that. But of course, as I mentioned, it has these benefits, and if you're doing it in a very smart way to also integrate some of the keywords that are relevant for your podcast, for your business, for this particular episode, of course, this will also help you then with search engine optimization, because of these words that can then pop up through online search. I hope this helps and made it a bit more clear of what show notes are all about. If you are someone who is still considering if you should start a podcast or not, maybe you need some hands-on. I'm not even sure how to say that. Maybe you need some guidance, right? Then you should head over to my podcasting starter guide. You can grab it at #impact.com/guide, and you will find lots of quick and great tips in there for you so that you can get your podcast started in no time. That's it for today. Bye.